Thrifting and upcycling makeovers are more than just a budget-friendly way to refresh your space or wardrobe. They're a creative and sustainable movement. By giving secondhand items a new life, we reduce waste, embrace individuality, and transform forgotten treasures into something truly unique. Whether it's breathing fresh style into vintage clothing or turning an old piece of furniture into a statement piece, thrifting and upcycling celebrate resourcefulness, sustainability, and the joy of reinvention. Let's get started with some thrift flips. This is a rooster, and he must have been some kind of a holder for something. He's got 2 holes in the top, and he's got a really not so good paint job here. He needs a little facelift, and luckily he found me, so I'm going to do that for him today. So we're going to get started by doing a base coat of black. So this is all covered in black first thing. I'm going to use the Folk Art 1 Decor paint. This has a sealer. It's paint and sealer in one, so I want this to be sealed when I'm done with it so that it won't come back to these colors that are on here. So I'm going to use at least a coat of this to start with. All right, so he got a coat and a half, pretty much, of black paint all over him. And now I'm going to take the Dixie Belle burlap paint, and we're going to do a coat over the top of that. Probably 2, but I'm going to start with a coat. So now, in order to give him a more distressed and aged look, I'm going to go in with a kind of a dry brush of black paint and just go over the rough parts of this little chicken. Just kind of bringing out some of the details and just accentuating some of those really cool parts, like his tail here. Okay, I've sealed that in with the Rust-Oleum Clear Sealer. Now, and that's dry, and now I'm going to go in with my antique wax, and we're going to try and get it in all the crevices here, and then wipe it back. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, that looks so good. I love it. I have this super cute little table stand that I'm going to clean up because it looks like it is dusty dirty, and I'm going to paint it. By the way, if anybody uses or is thinking about using the Mrs. Meyer's scents, I love this daisy one. It's limited edition. I don't know if they have it out right now, but I absolutely love this smell. It's very nice, fresh scent. And whenever I smell it, it makes me think of spring and summer. So I really love this one. I've used several different kinds, so, or different scents. And that is I think my all-time favorite right now. Now that I have this all cleaned up, I'm going to go in with my Folk Art 1 paint that has the sealer included, and I'm going to do 2 coats on this little table, inside, up underneath, and on the top. Now, because I don't want to go back down, if I sand and distress, I don't want to go back down to the color that it was underneath. So I'm going to take a little bit of this light paint and just go along the edges a little bit to make it look like I went down with the sandpaper. The brush is drying out. And I want to seal this guy in, so I'm just going to take some of my antique wax and go over it. I like how the antique wax looks on the black paint, and then it also darkens up the edges a little bit. That lighter paint gets a little bit darker with it, and it seals it in really nicely. And now I have a little riser for my chicken. I love this. Half the work is pretty much done for me. I just got these two little cutting boards, and I don't think they're real. They're probably they had something on them and somebody took it off. So they did that work for me, which is great. So I'm going to take some Folk Art 1, I think it's farmhouse paint. So it's a light, not quite white, but it's a like an off-white color. And I'm going to go over both of these over the whole thing. I knew what paper I wanted to decoupage on here, but I wasn't sure exactly the look that I wanted. So I decided to paint both of them all the way up to the handles. Things are going to change and progress as we see this go through, and you're going to see that I didn't need to do this on it, but I just wasn't quite sure what exactly I was going to do with these. But a lot of times that's what happens with projects. You're just not quite sure exactly what you want to do. You have an idea, an inkling, but things change, and that's okay. You just go along with the process and just see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, you can always sand it off and try again. Now for this first board, I'm going to add my Mod Podge, just a thin coat over the top, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to use for paper over the top of this. So this is some beautiful paper that I got from my friend Natalie at sparksofjoystudio.com. I'll have a link to her website down in the description box. You can pick this up there, and when I ordered these, she sent me some other things that are completely just beautiful stuff. Some napkins. She's got a few deals. If you buy so many, you get a free gift for the month of April. So just go over and check it out. You're going to love these papers. They are from Connie's Lines and Designs, I believe is how you say that. And they're just gorgeous. So one of these boards is going to get that paper. I'm here just kind of figuring out where I want to put it. And then I'm going to use this other board that I already put the Mod Podge on, and I'm just going to set it down. Now I was going to go all the way to the top where the handle was with it, but I changed my mind and decided not to do that. I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I'm just going to bring it down, just pull it down just a little bit and cut the paper so that it fits on there just right. I'm using a little plastic sandwich bag and my roller to roll out any wrinkles or any bubbles that I have in my paper, and then I'm just going to let that dry. Even though I cut the paper, I want to take some sandpaper and go around the edges and get a nice clean edge on there. I actually sand it just a little bit more on the top so that it looks a little bit more distressed. So when I go back to put on my top coat, that it gives it a nice aged old look. But I'm just going to go around and clean that up and make it look better. Once I get that all sanded, I noticed that I had some white paint from originally painting the top that had leaked down over the sides. So I just took some of my Waverly moss paint, and I'm going to go around the sides and cover up where the white paint is coming through. I'm not going to give it like a full-on coat. I just want to kind of clean up those edges just like that. And it already has a green edge, so it kind of blends in, and it looks kind of cool that way. Now we have to address the top. So what I want to do is just take some twine and I'm going to slowly wrap it around so it's nice and neat, all pushed together, and it kind of covers up that white that's on the top there that I had painted originally. So I'm just going to use a little bit of hot glue, get it to stick together, and then go around it so that it's completely covered. Now once I go all the way to the top, I'm going to go back down with it and just randomly wrap it around, crisscrossing spots here and there just to get it covered up and to make it look so it's not so uniformed. I want it to be a little bit kind of messy on there. Once that's done, I can go in with my antique wax and distress around the edges of the picture. Did you know I have over 300 videos on YouTube alone? If you're enjoying the projects today and you'd like to continue watching some other videos that I have, consider subscribing to my channel and go ahead and hit that bell so you'll be notified anytime I have a new upload. Like this awesome collaboration of The Last Thing Thrifted with 6 of my most creative friends. From left to right, we have Marika, Dawn, Monica, Jody, Annie, and Zaina. All their channels will be linked down in my description box, along with the playlist for this awesome collaboration. I found some little flowers in my stash. I think these came from probably Dollar Tree. Added a little bit of antique wax around the edges to kind of darken it up and go along with my picture down below. And then hot glued it to my twine on the top, and this piece is finished. We're going to work on the second board before I show you the end result. So this is recycled paper. I got this from my friend Natalie when I ordered from her, and it is beautiful paper. This is nice thick paper. I really like it. You can work with it, and if you make a little mistake, you're able to kind of maneuver it and do what you need to do without it tearing on you. So I was looking at this paper, it's just beautiful, and I really love the butterfly part over here in the upper corner. So I'm going to cut a piece out to use on my board, and I'm not going to cover the whole board with it. Again, like I said before, I thought I was going to just cover the whole board like I did with the first one, and it needed to be covered with the paint. But I decided on this one I was going to go in a little bit of a different direction. I'm going to take some black paint and go over the top and cover up the white paint that I had on there originally. I'm just going to do just the top above my decoupage paper and the handle. Once that is dry and the paper is dry, I'm going to go back in with my sandpaper and sand down the edges and get those nice and straight. I'm also going to distress a little bit around the edges and just kind of bring that sandpaper up near the top and get some of that paper to wear off with it. Once I get the sanding done, I take a piece of burlap and I'm going to cut it down just wide enough and tall enough to fit over the top of my little board here, and I'm going to cover that with it with just using a little bit of hot glue. Once I get it all down, I'm going to carefully cut around the edges so that I get up nice and close. I'm okay if it frays a little bit. I don't mind that look, but I just want to make sure that I get it nice and straight and that it looks good. So I'm going to do that all around that top piece. And then once I'm done, I'm going to go in with some Mod Podge and I'm going to seal the top of my paper and go over the frays just on the bottom of the burlap so that it stiffens up just a little bit. Once that's dry and sealed in, I'm going to go in with my dark wax and go around the edges and darken up some of this paper. I'm also going to go up on the burlap and go on the edges of that as well and get that all darkened up and make this kind of a dark and moody piece. I decided to paint the sides a black and get that all filled in. I didn't mind the paint that was on it. It kind of matched the butterfly, but I thought fitting my dark and moody idea on this one, that the black would just kind of fit in a little bit better. Now the last thing I want to do before it's completely finished is to take this black twine that I have and go around the board a few times, kind of crisscrossing it and spreading it out enough so that it will just kind of pop off from that burlap. I'm then going to just make a little bow to finish it off and add a little greenery, and I think this is super cute. Now let's take a look at our finished projects. I hope you enjoyed my projects today. Let me know down in the comments if you had a favorite and which one it was. Don't forget to check out that playlist down below for the last thing thrifted and all of the awesome creators that have joined in. If you want to see more Repurposed My Way videos, check out this next one on your screen. I know you're going to love it.